Yay, streaming. I'm not a unicorn anymore. That makes me kind of sad.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll have
I
to
like
get one of those like plastic unicorn horns so that I can like be a unicorn whenever I want to be a unicorn.
plastic unicorn horn. Those are things?
I think so.
Hmm. That doesn't sound good at all.
I think it sounds great. Why wouldn't you want to be a plastic unicorn horn wearing person?
Well, I
I am,
mean,
I am also sick, so it's very, very possible I'm delirious.
there's
Words,
got to
words are
be like a
hard.
market for that. There's got to be a market for that.
You
I
mean
think.
other than 6-year-old girls?
I, sure.
Probably yes.
That's where I'd start. That's where I'd start
Yeah.
if I was marketing like small plastic unicorn horns, is 6-year-old girls. And then I work into other markets. Like you try to get the bronies on board.
Mm.
Uh, I feel like that would be another like solid venture interest capital.
Oh, yay! Jim is in the chat room. Hello, Jim.
Perfect.
Reminder, everybody, this is the Gamers in Patron Hangout for February. So if you guys have questions, head on over to patreon.com/thegamersin. All the Skype info is there. You guys can call in and ask questions if you want. If not, it's totally cool if you just want to post them in chat. So if and actually I'm gonna go check our Discord server too, just in case there's some questions in there. Have you checked the post on Patreon? Are there any?
Yeah, no questions. Just people sort of like wondering what game we're playing for game night, which I think we're gonna keep it simple and play some Rocket League because it's just easier that way.
Yeah, we might potentially look into Don't Starve for next week, but
Yeah, like do a proper game night server. Like it might take a little extra effort to sort that out. I don't know how long it takes. Servers are complicated. I don't know. It's just like what is probably like a server IP you gotta set up and ugh. No, thank you. Rocket League's like you just create a room, tell people the password, they jump it.
exactly. And I can put the
Super simple.
password into like our text channels in Discord and stuff, and it's like super, super, super easy.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
then
don't
Jimmy's
know.
now saying it's super easy, but
Oh, okay.
you
I
know,
just want to make sure that we're not. Also, I think I need to update, but I just want to make sure we're not leaving anybody out.
yeah, the other thing too about Rocket League, they just announced you can buy the Batmobile next
Yes,
week. So
that's
that looks awesome.
That's very exciting. Although I'm, and Matt and I had this discussion earlier, I'm a little bit disappointed that there's no Superman car. And then he was like, well, Superman doesn't need a car because he's like an invulnerable, can fly cop out of a character. And I was like, but maybe they could just have like a Superman skin. And then I got into Batman winning and he could just skin Superman and then put it on the Batmobile. And
What about
I was in a dark place earlier.
what about Wonder Woman's invisible jet? You're literally just Wonder Woman flying around in a in a jet, and it's just you just see Wonder Woman floating like she's sitting down on the can or something. I think
Isn't that a
like,
Family Guy joke?
it is, yeah. Which I always done it first, but I think they also said that unlike the Back to the Future DLC, I think you're also getting antennas, so you can show like even though I'm only allowed to have this one Batmobile, I can still like show my Superman logo on my
Right,
antenna.
right,
So
yeah. I am looking forward to it, though. It should be good. And Jim has no questions. Barbara wants to know what about a Wonder Woman car? Wonder Woman have a car other than just like her invisible jet? But does she actually have like an iconic car? Because the Batmobile, I mean, you can't argue with the fact that that is a ridiculously iconic car.
yeah, I don't know if Wonder Woman has a car of any kind. I know that in the Batman versus Superman trailer, she like steps out of a fancy regular car,
Oh,
so maybe her car is already in the game.
ah,
Another thing they could do is they could add skins, like Superman skins that you could apply to any vehicle. Just like slap a Superman sticker on the hood of, I don't know, one of your
normal
cars.
cars.
Yeah, I
That
don't
would
know. I
that
can do
would
that.
be a really cool idea, having like stickers, kind of like they have like the flames and the all that kind of stuff. It would be cool if they had like themed sticker paint job thingies.
Yeah, I think that would be. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. Like they've got the antenna, but they haven't done like sort of vinyl stickers for your cars. I feel like that's a missed opportunity there, especially with a game that's using DLC to monetize itself after purchase. L Train is saying that we made Fate sound way more confusing. It's like,
Fates.
yeah, but it's still pretty Fire Emblem. It's
Oh,
still pretty confusing. Like, it's
I
kind of
don't think
a
it's confusing. I think it's like, I mean, it's very obvious. Like you have one of two basically different stories that you're playing through. It's not confusing. It's just sketchy. It's like, why can't
yeah,
that just be one freaking game?
uh, yeah. I mean, yeah, we had that conversation
Yeah,
yesterday.
exactly. I don't want to get all in. Like, I completely understand
Yeah, it's not
how it
like
works. It's just,
it's just expensive if you want everything, and the question of whether or not they could have put it all into one $50 product is like, yeah, who knows? It's a marketing thing. It's splitting it in two, like it worked in Japan. Why can't it work in the Americas? I don't know. But I mean, L Train, you have our Skype information if you want to call in and give us the how tos, because I know he's playing Birthright as well. We've been going back and forth in our lovely Discord channel, in which he's killed many people in Fire Emblem, and then restarted because you don't want people to die because that's you lose out on content. We already talked about this. Uh, yeah, well, and now I'll try and say like every other game is a money grab. That's true, but this is sort of like if they put out. No, we used Fallout as an example, and like that DLC is like a whole separate game. It's just the only difference is Nintendo's giving it to you all at the beginning and saying like you can pay for it all right now, as opposed to waiting a year after launch
yeah, I
for
feel
extra
like,
content.
sorry, I feel like I'm a little bit more almost okay with Fallout
Mhm.
because Fallout to me, even though like it's called the Seasons Pass or whatever, that to me could almost be called like the Fallout expansion pack, in which case you're talking about like a new game on top of the game that you have. Like you have to have the base game to play it, but you have a new game's worth of content, which is what old expansions used to be. Like I'm thinking specifically on the top of my head is The Sims. Like you have a base game and then you get almost the same amount of content in terms of like outfits and new things to do and whatever.
Mhm.
And so I'm okay with that because it's like adding on to something you already like and
Yeah.
it's enough content to justify the price. But this other like nitpicky little like nickel and dime you type stuff, I really don't like. And I don't like splitting a base game in two and charging two different prices for it, whatever
Yeah.
those prices may be.
I mean, I really don't see Fire Emblem as a base game being split in two. I mean, because it's like they could easily say like, okay, Birthright is its own game and Conquest is its own game. It's two Fire Emblem games coming out at the same time with the same amount of content that we would have put out in a normal Fire Emblem title. And sure, they could have said, we'll give you double the amount of content for $50, but like no business is doing that. I mean, what like if I get like to me, it's like if I can get double the amount of content right from the get-go, I'm obviously not going to go out and buy both games right away because nobody has that time. But like if Blizzard had come out with two expansions for World of Warcraft like 2 weeks apart and said like you have access to both these continents, but you have to pay for both expansions. And it's each expansion has its own similar amount of content as would a normal expansion have. Like, is that a problem, or is that because that's the same exact scenario? The only difference is that you have a vested interest in World of Warcraft.
Um, I don't know. I think I'd probably still be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, like it's easy to look at it and see it that way. Just to me, it's just like I don't like to look at the negative of it, but I
I
totally get
guess,
it.
and I think we did talk about this last night.
Hmm.
But I think it would really come down to if it was like two 100% different experiences. Like,
Yeah,
is I can't even remember the two names. There's Birthright, and then what's the other one?
conquest
Oh, it is Conquest. I was gonna call it Conquest, and I was like, no, that sounds wrong.
doesn't it?
Like
It's a
if
little
they,
too like
yeah, if they were two separate stories, two separate experiences, two separate everythings, and it equaled the same amount of content, maybe. But
it's
if it's
still a
just
little weird.
like, yeah, if it was just like a different kind of difficulty setting with a few different like cutscenes sort of thing to make you think you're getting a different story, then I'd be kind of like WTF.
my understanding, having not played through it, just kind of like looking at reviews and knowing like they've done two separate reviews for each product, like it is two different games. There are shared characters, but I think there's like six shared characters to the unique 30 characters per side. And that's your unique content for the game is those conversations. Because Fire Emblem is part tactical combat, but also like a weird Japanese I guess you ever hear of Persona? It's kind of like a weird Japanese like RPG where people talk to each other and they're like in high school kind of thing, except they're not in high school. They're like fighting with swords and shields. It's kind of like that. Like it's part like tactical like XCOM stuff and then part, you know, character interaction, but very Japanese. So no one should probably go out and buy all 130 or $40 worth of content for Fire Emblem. As I forgot to mention until the end of the show, there is a $25 map pack that will be releasing content steadily weekly until like the end of April, I think. So man, if you really love Fire Emblem, like shit, Nintendo's got you covered for the next 3 months, if not the next year, depending on how fast you go through it. But I mean, if they did it like more than once and kept doing it this way, it might start to get a little icky. You know, like I think doing it once and testing the waters and see how it works is fine, but like continuing to split the game and actively going out and designing it that way each time it could be a little weird. But yeah, but nobody's got time to play all that content. You're probably but fine just playing one of them.
Yeah.
But someone in chat room saying, I paid the cheaper price for both Witcher 3 DLC and I'm miffed that the second one has been delayed so much. Yeah, no, the first piece of DLC for Witcher 3 came out, I think, in the summer, which would have been like a couple months after, or late summer, a couple months after release. And then this next one, I haven't heard anything about it. But supposedly it's the bigger chunk of content. And I mean, that's like the crux of the issue of paying for a season pass. And I've stopped buying season passes. It's just you pay upfront for a large chunk of content that by the time it comes out, you may not actively still be interested in playing that game. I mean, we jump through games like crazy around here. It's not very often we're continuing to play a game for an entire year. And Mass Effect didn't even have a season pass. They just kind of released content and you bought it piecemeal, right?
Yeah, true. I kind of I like seasons passes if they give you a discount on the content. It's like DLC's $5 each, or get the seasons pass for 20 and you're gonna save 5 or 10 or whatever. Basically, like get a few for free. So as long as it's treated like a bundle, that's cool. But if it's not, if it's all just the same price as whatever the DLC is, if you buy it on your own, then what's the point? You're basically like pre-ordering DLC.
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally down for getting a discount. And like, as we've seen as a trend, it's like Fallout announces their season pass at the very beginning of even before development begins and say it's going to be $40. Then once they actually get started and realize, oh, we're building more content for the season pass, let's up the price a little bit. If you pre-purchase, you're getting even more value because the company wants to throw more content in there. But it's really, you got to have to trust the company in order to purchase a season pass. I think that's where it really comes down to. Like if you feel that company is going to deliver and give you an outline of the content that you're purchasing, I think that's a solid way of doing it. Microsoft I guess it wouldn't be Microsoft, the Tomb Raider game that we both played and loved, they detailed their season pass like very detailed. But it was expensive. It was $40, but they basically said like, here's all the content you're getting, plus like extra outfits and stuff that I don't know. I don't know if you changed your outfit a whole lot, but I don't think there was really a need to have extra outfits. There was already a lot in there. I mean, Lara likes to accessorize, I guess. But yeah, I think that if it's detailed enough, but like, what was it? I can't remember if it was off air after the show, but like Battlefront season pass is like $70 in Canada. And the details that we have so far is basically like 3 planet names and a to be announced. Like, that's not $70 worth of details. Yeah. That's not cool. But yeah. Yeah, it just sounds like it keeps getting delayed because the Witcher devs just, they want to make a solid piece of DLC, they're they're looking out for you. I don't think that they're like actively delaying it because they're trying to be mean, but you know, if they rushed it
Yeah.
out and it was terrible, we'd be more upset, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've talked about that before, that, I'd rather see content delayed if it ends up being better in the end than people rushing stuff out.
Yeah. Especially DLC. DLC oftentimes feels a little rushed because sometimes like you have that catch 22 of DLC being developed while the game is being worked on and people cry and don't like that. So okay, we wait until this is DLC developed after launch, and post launch you have like a certain window where people are still interested in playing your game. So you kind of have to do a little bit of crunch to get that DLC out in time. I know some of that Mass Effect DLC felt pretty half baked. I don't know how much you played of Mass Effect 3, but the Mass Effect 3 DLC, but not much of it lived up to some of the best moments in that game, which is unfortunate.
I think the one that I liked the most was Leviathan, I think.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first one, and I
I
agree.
think
Like that
so,
was
yeah.
that was really good, and I think that was because it was sort of this. Actually, the first two DLCs in that game, minus the extended cut, which is a whole other thing. It was, I think it was like cut chapters that they reintroduced.
Yeah, I think it was. It was a few missions. It was like 3 or 4 missions, I think. Gave a whole hell of a lot of backstory, which I really liked, and it was like a lot of like creation stuff and Prothean info and like that. I loved all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah, and I'm 99% sure that was the Leviathan missions.
I'm super looking forward to more Mass Effect. I think that's this year. Like that's this year, which is crazy to think about.
I know, right?
We should be getting like an actual story trailer this E3 in like just like 4 months, which is pretty great because so far all we've gotten is like some John Wayne Western stuff, which is great. But Mass Effect's about the characters, not like the weird soundtrack to a galaxy of some kind. Um, yeah, but yeah, it's I don't know what's happening in the chat room.
I don't know either because I have a bot in there that's going, and for some reason it got timed out. Oh yeah, no, Jim, that is actually mine. That's the new one. I'm transitioning over from Moobot to that one.
To Cobot.
To Cobot, yeah.
Did you
I think Jim just timed out my
you just boot the
informational bot.
Weird.
Oh man,
That
that's
was an
funny.
interesting
That's
thing.
funny.
It did
Way
look
to
like
be on
spam.
top of it. Way to
It
be on
did
top of it,
look
Jim.
like spam. I was like, what is that? That's not Moobot.
No,
Who's Cobot?
Moobot is charging me for everything that I want to do now, so fuck them.
Oh, Moobot. Okay.
Yeah, Moobot, yeah.
You're like already throwing Cobot under
Oh
the-
no, no, no. The only
Yeah.
thing I can't figure out is how to make it should have been
Yeah.
Jim. Yeah. I'll have to
Can you time out a mod though? Let's try it on Jim.
No, yeah, let's try to time out Jim, see what happens.
I'm just kidding.
I think I can probably time out Jim, but you probably can't. I don't think we can have mod on mod chat room
No,
violence.
that'd be a cool sword fight though. I think that'd be pretty cool. Whoa, that guy's.
Oh man, Ash, I was gonna ask you what bot you used because I was just looking for one that let me change the name and let me do quotes. Also, hi.
To say she's got like so many icons.
I
Like,
know
that's-
it's because like she's a mod here. She's Twitch Turbo. She's a Twitch staff, and she's a sub. So she's got all the icons.
You better be careful. She might like actually just do a new line before her actual text starts. Is there any other icons you can get in Twitch? I think that there should be more.
I don't know. I think yeah, you should be able to have like a bazillion.
Cool. Well, does anybody else have anything they'd like us to talk about? Like, there's obviously there's the call-in information if you guys want to call in. Like, that's kind of the whole rigmarole of this here fun stuff. But Hail Satan! Oh man, this is where the Twitch stuff comes through. Like all the little icons that I know, because this is the only Twitch integration that I have. So there's a Hail Satan. Oh my God! Now there's
Oh
green
man,
hearts.
there we go. I was like, my Ash emotes aren't showing up as options, but then I found them. Twitch chat has not been kind to me today.
I think Twitch chat's been having some issues. I don't know.
They changed over to do a thing where they like could something like remember everything that was said or something, and then it's been sketchy ever since they made that server change.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't do a lot of Twitch, but I have been annoyed by all the, like constant reminders that we have chat relay now. It's great. So it's hopefully it works, or it works by telling me that they have it now, which is fantastic. So have you played any games since we talked about games yesterday? Like,
I have not. I pretty much just sat and watched Twitch today because I was prepping my nails for tomorrow. So that's a couple of hours long nail manicure session before I actually do the painting on stream. So
nice. Do you know what you're doing? Do we have any hints as what the topic is?
I haven't decided yet, actually, but because it's really, really cool. We're being interviewed by Patreon with Angry Chicken tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I don't think it's live streamed. I think it's just like an audio only thingy. But yeah, so we're being interviewed at 3 o'clock, and then we have D&D at 7 o'clock. So somewhere in there, I'm going to have to squeeze both dinner and a nail stream. So I think we're probably going to do something pretty simple.
Couldn't you do like while you're doing the nail stream, just have like Matt feed you? Like, can't. Isn't that what Matt is
I
for?
think maybe that might get us kicked off Twitch. I don't know.
What? Feeding you? Is that like a weird thing?
I don't know.
We have a Twitch staff in the chat room.
Yeah.
Can I have
Well, I
some
know that you can't
feeding
have like you can do cooking streams, but you can't do like eating streams in creative. That's not allowed.
The creative is you doing your nails. You eating is just your. If anything, it's against the rules. Not like if you're skipping dinner, that's a bad thing.
I see.
That would be seen as putting you in anguish of some kind. Probably starving to death. But, they don't want you to do that, right? And they do feeding all the time on Twitch. It's like, when people like die all the time in MOBAs, like it happens all the time. So you're probably fine. Probably fine.
Man. Yeah, see, Ashley says no. So I told you, you can't do that.
What's mukbang?
It's like
Is that slang for something?
It's like little. I had to look it up too because I saw that in like the what you can and can't do on creative, and I had to look it up. And it's like usually it's like a Korean kind of a thing,
Mm-hmm. So
like
it's not Japanese.
a fad or something, I guess maybe. And basically it's like teeny tiny little girls, or I guess probably anybody eating very large amounts of food.
Oh, that's not what you're doing though. Because you're not Korean. Mm-hmm. That how it works?
Ryan.
I don't know. But no, she says that you can eat on stream. It's fine, as long as it's not the center of it.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Hi, geeks.
Hi.
Wild Geeklet arrives.
How you doing, honey?
Good.
Good. Do you have a
Yeah.
question for us?
Uh-huh.
Sweet.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's not morning.
It's morning somewhere, Jocelyn. Let the kid have fun. Her fun. Sorry, I've been around Caden way too much today. Oh, what? I heard some coaxing.
I like Mario.
You like Mario? I like Mario too. Mario's
There's-
super, super fun.
And tell the green one.
The green-
Luigi is the green one, right?
Yeah, and you tell it.
Okay.
Everybody keeps forgetting Luigi.
She wanted to know if you like Mario or Luigi better.
Oh.
I always like Luigi better because he's taller and he can jump higher.
I was gonna say, yeah, Luigi's taller, but like
Did you
Mario's
already
like,
tell it them?
Yeah.
Oh no, you're supposed to tell her so she can ask. Okay, ask the question and we'll answer it again.
Gooey.
Gooey, uh-oh.
All right, you want to say bye?
I also love you.
oh, we love you too, honey.
Bye.
That you
Bye.
checked out.
I tell him.
Oh no! She got cut off.
Cutest
No.
ever. Okay, so do we like Mario or Luigi better? So Yeah, Luigi was taller, so I always thought he was cooler, but Mario's like the main character, so
Yeah, it's interesting. Luigi gets about like especially in the Mario and Luigi RPGs, like there's a constant joke of that Luigi's just this terrible person and Mario just brings him along to make him feel better. And it's a running joke and it's actually kind of sad because every time Luigi does something awesome, they're like, "Oh, Luigi, you finally did something right." And it's like, he's been carrying this team since the beginning, literally. Mario can't get that high block. Who's gonna get the cookie jar off the high block? Luigi is. Man, I'm just sorry. I feel very strongly about this.
apparently, man, oh man. So I don't know. We don't seem to have too many questions or anything tonight. So do you want to just do like do you want to switch over to Rocket League and just do a 2.5 hour game night instead of a 2 hour game night?
We could do that. Do we want to quickly go over our Patreon stuff, and then we can do that?
Sure.
Or
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
just one more time, so people don't get surprised.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have it open. So if you want to
Yeah, I
lead
have
the
it
conversation.
for sure. So as long as like I did some tweaks in here, as long as we're still good, we are switching weekly. So that's something we've been talking about for the last couple months. So it shouldn't be a surprise to active listeners. Although if we do have supporters who aren't active listeners, we do. Thank you, although you're not hearing this right now, so you'll find out soon enough. So we're moving to a weekly format in which we're going to try to make so all of our current unlocked milestones stay unlocked when we do the switch over, but that means reducing the cost of certain milestones. So game night will be $50 a week. Did I switch that or did I? No, yeah, okay, I switched it in the thoughts, but okay, so the hangout will be $50 a week because it's a once a month thing, and we figured it would probably make more sense to be the lesser amount. Game night will be at $100 a week. Those should stay about the same when we switch over, but again, that's up to where the patron sits. But and then after that, we are replacing the old milestones with new ones. One of which is called is going to be our story time. We haven't named it yet, so if you have like a cool Gamers In name where we can name this extra episode that we put out once a month where we spoil the crap out of a video game as voted by you. So if there's this cool new narrative experience, if you want to have an entire episode rather than in like 2 or 3 parts of 2 or 3 episodes devoted to Firewatch, you could have had that if we switched the Patreon over in February, but we didn't. So we all rejoice. So that's what that's going to be. Think campaign roundtable, less Garrett, all less rage, more rage, less. Maybe Garrett will show up. I don't know. But we aren't going to call it campaign.
But yes, very, very close to what Campaign Roundtable used to be.
Yeah.
Basically just like Ryan and I just sitting down and shooting the shit about whatever happens to be a super cool campaign that we play, a single player campaign that we played that month. So I kind of like your suggestion in here, the Innkeeper's Tale.
Yeah, it's just keeping with the whole in thing.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a lot of fun. It's something we already do, but this guarantees that if there's a narrative game that the patrons are looking forward to that specific month, at the start of the month, they can vote on it. We'll pick it up. We will play it in entirety, and then we will schedule a recording, and then you guys will have a full hour devoted to that game if for some reason we can devote an hour. Usually when we talk story, we can fill an hour. It's not a problem. And then finally, at $200 a week, we're going to bring back Quickfire News as a weekly sort of rapid fire episode. So you'll get how many episodes a week? Some weeks you'll be getting like triple or quadruple the amount of episodes of Gamers In.
Yeah, it will
crazy.
be a lot of crazy content, which is kind of the whole reason that we wanted to change this. We wanted to bring it in line with what the other AIM shows are doing with their Patreons, but also we wanted to change our goals to be basically how do we give you guys more TGI content, because I know that's what you love. So this is what we decided to do, and we want to know what you think about it. So I'm pretty sure there is a post up on Patreon, isn't there? I think so.
For what?
For just the fact that we're changing these things.
I've mentioned it, but we haven't put these details. These details are going to go up in the next couple days for everyone to look at. But if you want sort of a guideline as to what the actual pledges are going to be changing to, so you can sort of think about what you want to change to in March when the switchover happens, look at the Angry Chicken or the Into the Nexus Patreons, and it's the same pledge levels. And basically how it's going to work down is basically patron at any level can vote, can choose what game we want to play, what news we quickfire, stuff like that. $1 or more gets you early access. What? Did I miss something?
No, I'm laughing in the chat room. He's like, L Train says you went on for half an hour about TLC. An hour for a specific story doesn't seem like a stretch.
feel
We
very
won't have any problems
Yeah,
going on.
we-
Talking for an hour, discussing things for an hour.
We're podcasters.
Yeah.
We can talk. We know what we're doing.
Also, we have a suggestion in the chat room for a name. Mr. Wonders says Inside the Game, which is also a pretty cool name.
Pretty punny.
And Barber is seconding that.
Well, whoever has the quieter keyboard, write it in the notes. Shotgun, not it.
All right.
We can do that off air as well. But yeah, and then basically, if you want early access to some of these episodes, which will go on the feed shortly after, like we do with our Hangouts, it's at $1, $2 per episode gives you priority invites, and then you have your TGI producer at $50 per episode, and that's sort of for folks who just want to go nuts and be super awesome. So we put that in there for fine people. If you so choose. So that's it. I'm excited to see what we can do with this new model. And like you already said, it's about the content as opposed to just like, unlocking more games. We already play a lot of games that come out, and we just felt like it'd be really nice to sort of shift it around to the content side of things. It means we're going to be posting a lot more. Like if we unlock all this, it's. I mean, I haven't done the math because I don't want to hurt my calendar very much, so maybe later we'll worry about that. But for now, it's pretty exciting because I like quickfire news. It just kind of broke up the
flow of the episode. Our episodes got to be a little bit more free-form chatty, and quickfire news was just way too...
it just stopped things.
Yeah. So...
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I like doing quickfire news, so I really hope we do hit that goal because that would be a whole lot of fun.
I think it's the best way to look at that sort of platform is to look at what like the way I'm thinking about it is what Tom Merritt does with DTNS, like at least the core segment of it where they do the headlines and quickly discuss things. That's like the best bar for that type of content out there right now. So if you want that Gamers In style, video game specific. None of this like, what is that currency that's really weird? Yeah, I had it.
Bitcoin?
Thank you. None of that Bitcoin business. We won't touch that, but we will touch Mario coins. I don't know. I couldn't think of a better thing to say. And Jimmy's going to get a smoothie, thus ending the content for the Patreon Hangout. I think that should be a sign.
Yeah.
We should go play Rocket League.
All right, guys, so the stream's going to go down for a couple of minutes while I get set up, and then we will be right back. If you are a patron of the Gamers Inn and you want to join us for Rocket League, make sure that you hop on over to Discord. Jump in our server. Make sure you're in that $5 patron room. If you are a patron of the Gamers Inn, you can go to patreon.com/thegamersin and find the post about Discord. All the links in those posts should still give you access to whichever patron level you are. So if you pop in and you don't have, I might have to assign you a role. So yeah, just ping me. But we'll be watching for that. We'll be pulling in $5 patrons for Rocket League. We're playing on PC. And then once we've filled all the spots with $5 patrons, we'll be grabbing any other patrons who want to jump in, and then any friends of the show. So yeah, head on over to the Gamers Inn Discord channel, and we will see you in a couple of minutes. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Bye, everybody.